Hello class, my name is Jose Rodriguez and this is my 1460 project. To say my freshman year was complicated is kind of an understatement because, well, that's the year I got really depressed and anxious. I suffered with a lot of depression and anxiety that year, and it kind of held me down for most of the year because I missed so much school that I had to be put in in alternative classes that was across the street from the school where the criminal justice classes are at, and it was Sawyer Smith's class. They only did it for 1 year because the classes were that misbehaved. So I didn't really have a lot of pictures this year because of, well, as I mentioned before, I was home 24/7 depressed. I didn't have time to take pictures or, do stuff like that. So sorry about the lack of pictures between now, junior and sophomore year. But I make up for it big time in senior year, which I will get to later. Sophomore year wasn't that bad for me. It was actually pretty good grade-wise and, well, mental health-wise, just because I didn't really have to go to school. But I don't want to be ignorant in saying it was a great year just because, well, a lot of people suffered at the time, and the repercussions of that still hold on to this day, with people losing family members and stuff like that. So overall, sophomore year was a pretty okay year for me. There's really not much to add other than that. So let's go to junior year, which was a really weird year considering the fact that everybody was coming back to school, and, well, I kind of didn't because I kind of chose to do homeschooling through Edgenuity. The reason for that was because I was kind of afraid to go back. And the reason why I was afraid was because, well, I suffered with a lot of social anxiety, and, well, at the time it was at its peak in freshman year, and, well, I didn't really get to push through it through sophomore because of the whole COVID thing. So it kind of let me stay in a neutral position where I didn't really have to deal with my problems. And, well, I took advantage of that, and I didn't go to school junior year. But it didn't stop it for being a good year for me because, well, two of my friends joined me in the whole Ingenuity process, that being Adrian and George, which I can't thank them enough for joining me in the process. Of course, they didn't join specifically just because of me, but they had their own issues and their own, reasons why they joined, but they joined nonetheless. And we had a lot of fun, basically just doing our work on Ingenuity and just playing games for the whole day. But one thing I do regret is not going to school that year because, well, as I'm going to mention later, senior year was kind of the best year for me in terms of just mental health and socializing and making friends and just hanging out. And I wish I kind of took advantage of that in junior year because I kind of missed out, and I wish I was just in a more stable spot to continue school. Also, junior year was the first year I started therapy, which was a blessing for me because I learned a lot about myself and I learned a lot about life, and I learned how to maneuver through the world. That's as simple as I can put it, and I'm forever grateful for my therapist, Kimberly, and whoever pushed me to join therapy. And now, senior year. At first, I was scared to go back to school because, of course, I didn't go to school for a whole bunch of years, and it was kind of overwhelming at first. I remember the first week of school, I was like, I can't take this anymore. I just can't go to school. The first day of school specifically was such a headache and such a slow day, but I pushed through it, and I'm glad I did because I met some of the best people I've ever met in my life and had some of the best experience I've ever had in my life. This was also the year where I started taking a whole bunch of pictures just because I was in school and I was around friends, so I took advantage of that and I just took a whole bunch of pictures. I got a Polaroid this year and I took a whole bunch of Polaroid pics. I have a whole booklet full of them and I filled them up this past weekend, and it was a blast. Senior year was a blast. I got to experience homecoming. I didn't go to prom, sadly, but I did go to grad night, and grad night was probably the best experience I've ever had in my life. It sounds like an overstatement, but honestly, it's such an amazing thing that I feel like everybody should experience. Overall, my senior year was a blast. I finally found solace in myself and finally found peace within myself to keep on moving forward, and finally was able to handle these situations without having them let me down. making new friends and reconnecting with old ones. I had a lot of fun, a lot of experiences, like grad night, for example. Homecoming was really fun. Senior ditch day was pretty fun. Senior sunset was fun. Like a whole bunch of things that I never thought I would experience because of the things that were, passed down to me. But overall, I had an amazing year. I love all my friends. I love all my family members that helped me, push through. And thank you to anybody that was there with me. And thank you to anybody that wasn't, because, this is my experience. So thank you, everybody.